What if the universe already knows where you're going, but you're the one blocking the way? We spend so much time trying to force the pieces of life into place, to bend the unknown into a shape we can predict. But what if all that effort, all that planning, all that mental wrestling is actually the reason we can't move forward? In this video, we'll explore what it really means to trust the path. Not as a blind hope or a vague affirmation, but as a shift in how you relate to uncertainty. We'll look at what happens when you let go, how guidance begins to reveal itself, and why the universe responds not when you try harder, but when you become still enough to listen. There's a hum beneath the surface of modern life, a low-grade anxiety that never quite goes silent. It's the sound of minds constantly spinning, calculating, preparing for disaster before it arrives. We call it being responsible. We call it just making sure. But really it's fear dressed up as diligence. We plan for every outcome. We chase certainty like it's oxygen. And yet, we never feel truly safe. The more we try to control life, the more life seems to slip through our fingers. Because deep down, control is a performance. It makes us feel like we're steering the wheel, even when we're just spinning it in place. This is the paradox. The more tightly we grip, the less guidance we receive. The more we overthink, the less we hear the quiet nudge of truth. The path beneath us isn't missing. It's just drowned out by noise. The problem isn't that the universe is silent. It's that we're too loud to hear it. When we live in fear of the unknown, we become suspicious of the very force that's trying to carry us. So we build maps based on old terrain. We plan from a place of survival, not wisdom. And in doing so, we become blind to the openings life is quietly offering. It's easy to throw around phrases like, trust the universe, or everything happens for a reason. But what does it actually mean to say the universe has your back? It doesn't mean everything will go your way. It doesn't mean bad things won't happen. It means that there is a deeper intelligence moving beneath the surface of events. One that isn't trying to punish you or test you, but to guide you into alignment with something larger than your plans. The universe doesn't respond to frantic action. It doesn't reward you for checking more boxes. It listens to your alignment, the quality of your energy, your openness, your willingness to release what no longer fits. Sometimes that means things fall apart. The job disappears, the relationship ends, the opportunity vanishes, and it feels like failure. But later, sometimes months, sometimes years, you realize that collapse made space for something truer. The universe wasn't taking from you. It was clearing the way. A door doesn't have to slam for it to be wrong. Sometimes the silence is the answer. The pause is protection. The rejection is redirection. The missed train puts you on the right one. And when you begin to trust that pattern, your lens changes. You stop labeling everything as good or bad. You start to notice that things are not falling apart. They're rerouting. Even your delays, even your doubts. To say the universe has your back is not a slogan. It's a way of seeing. It means letting life be wiser than your plans. There's a moment when something inside finally says, I don't know anymore. And instead of that bringing panic, it brings peace. Letting go isn't a single act. It's a quiet turning. It's the release of the inner knot that's been holding everything together through sheer willpower. It's the softening of the brow, the loosening of the shoulders, the long exhale after years of pretending to know what's next. When you let go, your energy changes before anything in the world does. Fear begins to melt, not because the danger is gone, but because you stop feeding it. The noise in your mind fades and something quieter rises. Not answers, not instructions, just presence. Clarity doesn't shout. It arrives in silence. And then, strange things begin to happen. You think of someone and they text you. A job offer comes out of nowhere. A problem you've obsessed over suddenly solves itself. These aren't just coincidences. They're the echoes of your shift. When you stop pushing, life has room to move. It's not magic, it's alignment. The world reflects back the energy you carry. When you're tight with fear, the world feels hostile. When you soften into trust, support becomes visible. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means stepping aside so life can flow through you. As the mystic poet once wrote, "When you let go, you don't fall, you're caught." Long before we had words for it, the ancients understood there was a current running through all things. The Taoists called it the Tao, the way. Not a path you force, but one you follow. The Tao doesn't need effort. It needs space. When you stop resisting, it moves. Mystics across traditions have spoken of surrender, not as giving up, but as opening. A flower doesn't bloom because it tries harder. It blooms because the season arrives, and it's ready to receive it. Even in science, we see something similar. In biology, complex patterns emerge without a central planner. Order arises in systems that allow it. Life is self-organizing, self-correcting. The intelligence isn't just out there. It's in you, around you, through you. But it doesn't shout over your fear. It won't drag you toward growth. It will only meet you at the doorway of your willingness. That's why people can spend years trying to manifest something while secretly clenching in anxiety. The surface says trust, but the energy says control. And the universe listens to energy, not words. You don't have to figure it all out. You have to become available. The intelligence behind life is already moving. It's not waiting for you to earn it. It's waiting for you to let it in. Something shifts in how you move through the world when trust begins to take root. Not all at once. There's no grand awakening, but quietly, steadily, like dawn breaking after a long night. You stop needing to have all the answers. That constant pressure to predict, to fix, to plan 3 steps ahead. It begins to soften. You still care, but you're no longer ruled by the fear of not knowing. Uncertainty, once unbearable, becomes a place you can actually rest in. You notice yourself making decisions from a grounded place. Not because you're desperate to escape discomfort, but because something in you feels ready. You're not rushing to avoid pain. You're moving in alignment with what feels quietly true. Curiosity replaces panic. Where once you'd spiral into, what if everything goes wrong? You begin to ask, what if this is leading somewhere better? And not as wishful thinking, but as a real possibility. You stop assuming that silence means something's broken. You start sensing that maybe something's being rearranged. And then there are the patterns. You overhear the exact phrase you needed. A book falls off a shelf. A stranger mentions the thing you were thinking about. These small moments start to carry weight, not as superstition, but as a reminder that the invisible world is always speaking. And above all, peace becomes less conditional. You feel steady even when things are unclear. Not because everything's perfect, but because you're no longer demanding certainty before you allow yourself to feel okay. That's trust. Not blind optimism, not passive surrender. Just a deepening willingness to let life show you what it's trying to say. Trust isn't something you think your way into. It's something that grows through experience, through risking, releasing, and discovering that you were held the whole time. One way to lean into that is what we might call a surrender journal. It's not a diary of problems or complaints. It's a space to lay down the weight. You write what you're tired of holding, questions that have no answer yet, choices that feel heavy, fears that keep circling. And then you end with a simple line. I release this. Show me what I can't yet see. It's not a spell. It's a permission slip. You're telling the universe and yourself that you're open to insight from beyond the mind. Another practice is something quieter, the micro moment of trust. When something stressful happens, pause. Don't react. Ask yourself, what if this is leading somewhere better? You don't need proof. You just need to interrupt the old pattern of bracing against life. Then, let the unknown breathe. We're taught to make fast decisions, to control uncertainty as quickly as possible. But real clarity doesn't come on demand. It comes when space is made, when the mind quiets. Let yourself delay the need for answers. Let clarity arrive when it's ready. And if doubt creeps in, which it will, turn to your own past. Not the stories of pain, but the moments where life surprised you. The plans that failed, only to reveal something better. Track those, collect them. Let them become your evidence. You don't need to believe blindly. You need to remember clearly. That's how trust grows, not from theory, but from experience. From the lived memory that when you released control, something wiser entered. Letting go isn't weakness. It's not giving up. It's stepping into alignment with the intelligence that's already guiding your life. The universe does have your back, but only when you stop standing in the way. You don't need to know what's next. You just need to stay open, to listen, to allow. Trusting the path doesn't mean you won't feel fear. It means you stop letting fear build the map. It means walking forward without demanding proof first, and discovering, step by step, that the ground appears as you go. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay open, stay grounded, and keep walking the path that's already unfolding beneath your feet.